I'm black. No black people. Nobody gives a about that. Kill that.
Now.
Either you got a good business or you don't. All that. Nobody want to hear that. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material good?
Come on.
Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby.
Yeah.
Fuck what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them deals where the fuck spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, I'm gonna do what the fuck do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucker fake motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the #1 nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions, and I make millionaires, baby. You understand?
I don't know this guy. Never. I really don't know what he does. I guess he's a music man or whatever, something like that. Or maybe he's an entrepreneur, just like a whole bunch of other of my people out here. Many of us are entrepreneurs. Or at least we are when we get on these dating shows. If we see us on a Pop the Balloon show, we're definitely an entrepreneur. I haven't met one black guy who isn't an entrepreneur of some form or fashion that's ever been on a live dating show or on reality television in some shape, form, or fashion. But really, I'm just addressing what he talked about in the clip. And all it is him simply talking about black businesses. Stop trying to play victim because nobody gives a crap about it. Nobody wants to hear it. But if you criticize black businesses, you're a coon, you're Uncle Tom, you're a sellout, you're a loser, you hate your own people, you don't like your mama, you got daddy issues, you got baby mama drama. There's something off with you if you criticize your own people. You don't want what's best for your own people. You only like to hate on your own folks. That's the only reason why you would ever have critiques. Now, like I said, I don't know Wallo. Maybe that's what his end goal is. Maybe that's what his agenda is. But maybe, once again, this is just another one of those scenarios where people hate the messenger instead of the message. Just like with old Kevin Samuels. Look, man, I don't care if you like the man or not. Some of the stuff that he said was valid. Not saying all of it was, because there was a lot of cartoonish stuff that was in there. But he did have some really good valid points. Whether you like the man or not, he spoke quite a bit of truths. Truth is hard to accept. Truth is a reality that is hard to just bite down on. It's like eating razor blades for some people. Like, if you're okay with just being held accountable for your actions, you don't have a problem with owning up to stuff, saying I'm sorry, apologizing, realizing that you could have done better, like many of us know that we could have, then you usually won't have an issue with what he said. Or maybe you're a person who always deflects blame, can't take accountability. It's always somebody else's fault. It was their fault why my relationship crashed out. They're the reason why I'm broke. They're the reason why I'm unhappy. They're the reason why I'm homeless. They're the reason why I don't have money. It's always they. It's always them. It's always somebody else. It's always the white man. The people who get the most upset about, any black people having critiques of other black people are people who are always assuming that we need to criticize the white man first before we come check our own stuff. When it's like, maybe some of us don't deal with the white man. Maybe some black people don't live in circles that have many white people in it. Did you see white people where he was talking? I didn't see white people in there. So why is he going to cater his messaging to white people or about white stuff or white things in general? He wasn't talking about Asians. He wasn't talking about Spanish people. He was talking about blacks. You know why? Because that's who he was talking to. Why would we cater a message around a bunch of people who aren't in the room? Why would it matter? Maybe if you want to be the most effective at what you're talking about, you should talk to the people who are there in front of you. That's what I would think. That's what I would figure. That's what I would imagine. What about you? If you're trying to get through to the person in front of you, would you not speak to them and them directly? Or would you just speak in a whole bunch of hypotheticals and speak around them in circles like they weren't even there? I don't see how that's relevant. I don't see how that helps anybody. I don't see how that helps anybody get better at something. Saying that black businesses need to do better. Stop blaming everybody else. Stop placating it on the fact that you're preying on I'm a black business and thus you want sympathy money. You want sympathy people to come through the door and just kiss your butt and accept bad service, bad actions, mostly just bad service, because that's really what it comes down to. I mean, most of these businesses, they're service industries. That's what most of us own. People act like white businesses, Spanish businesses, Asian businesses don't crash out and fail each and every day. But when black people bring up black issues, we always act like, well, see, if we bring it up, that means they are going to have a reason to criticize us. Dude, they criticize us already anyway. Who cares? We criticize them. They criticize us. It's a revolving door. Though, yes, I guess the narrative nationally would be that, oh my, black businesses are bad because black people talk about it, and we need to highlight that. Well, if you're still dumb enough and gullible enough to always pay attention and just eat up everything that you see right in front of you on social media or on, modern day television, you're an idiot. You're dumb. You are not a smart individual. You definitely rode the shorter than short yellow bus. That's what I believe about you. Because there's nothing about you that has any critical thinking skills. And that is really disappointing. Everything's about race bait. Everything's about hate. Everything is about, oh my God, the white man. I'm just tired of hearing about certain things. Are they relevant? Yes. But sitting around just because you're pointing it out doesn't make it any better. What good is pointing out an issue if you never address it? I never understood that. We just sit here and we blame the white man for this. We blame the white man for that. Asian folks ain't like us. They don't be wilding out. BS. Everybody crashes out. Everybody gets arrested. Everybody kills their own people. Everybody has poor folks. Everybody has rich folks. And every racist set of rich folks, like, I said that weirdly, but every race has a set of rich folks that does not give a crap about the rest of their people. Doesn't matter what color they are. Most rich people only care about other rich folks or themselves. They don't care about the little man. They don't care about the middleman, even though the middleman and the little man more than likely is what built them to being the millionaire man. They don't care about you. Doesn't matter about race. Doesn't matter about color. So when it comes to these black-owned businesses, I really don't want to hear about it. You know why? Because the ones who's actually making money in those industries, you know what they think about you? Nothing. They don't care that you're black. You know what? Sadly, they judge you probably more than you would ever judge them. You're going in there trying to give them your service. Most blacks, we really do try to go to these places, but the reason why we criticize them is because we go there and the service was ass. Don't matter how many times we say that, people are just supposed to act like, well, they give you bad service at McDonald's. I don't care about McDonald's. I'm not at McDonald's. I'm at Keandre's Chicken Shack and I want crispy fried chicken. I'm not at Popeyes, where I got YNs over here ready to crash out and shoot me through the drive-thru. And they're working. I don't want to deal with that. So I came to your place. You know why? Because I felt like it was going to be some good home cooking. You know what happens? These are family-owned businesses. These black-owned businesses, these white-owned businesses, these whatever color-owned businesses, they're homegrown. They're made from the people who usually know those folks who started it. We're not in chains. We don't have chain restaurants. The last thing we should think about being in is in chains. So we know about chains. Why should we talk about our restaurants, our businesses like they're chains? They're not. Outside of Sally's Hair Supply, and I'm not even sure it's based on a black Sally, don't know, don't care. All I know is that's about the only chain that seems like it's connected to almost anything black that I can think of off the top of my head. Most chains, yeah, they're white. Don't care about chains. People want to say, we can get bad service at McDonald's. I don't see where the milkshake workers ever working there. Dude, we already know that. But, I don't even need to get into that because most of the time when I'm at those McDonald's, I already know who's at that McDonald's who done told me that milkshake machine doesn't work. And they're usually my color. White people do it too. Spanish people do it too. I never really ran into too many Asians at McDonald's, but I know they work them somewhere. The thing that kills me is that there's plenty of us that believe you just shouldn't criticize black businesses because they're simply black businesses. That's not enough. Like, homie, you charged me $28 for the fish and chips, and it tasted like fish and shit. Why am I paying that much money? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm not finding the logic. You're going to have to help me understand why am I wasting my dollars like this when we all know it's a dark and hard economy. Like, some of us believe you should just always leave 5 out of 5 stars no matter how terrible the service was. Like, I'm supposed to leave more than 1 star, and I found out that 2 of my best friends and my cousin died at this restaurant because they were simply serving rat and rabies soup out of the kitchen. Why am I supposed to just be okay with that? Oh no, give them 5 stars, bro. You got to give them 5 stars, man. It's a black-owned business, man. You know how bad the rep is. It should be bad. The rep should be bad if they're killing people in the kitchen. Now, that may be an extreme, example, but we know that happens in some of these places. But yet somebody for the culture is like, you know what? Nah, man, you should ignore that problem. It doesn't matter how bad their service is. It doesn't matter if it takes them 15 to 20 minutes to get to your table and serve you. It doesn't matter if they're rude and disrespectful and then they charge you and then add a whole bunch of extra fees that shouldn't exist on your ticket. No. You should give them 5 stars because you know what they say about us. Well, you keep talking about they, and they aren't coming in here. You know who's coming in here? Us. We are, and we're giving fair critiques because we want it to be better. If you want this business to last, which is probably not, because at this point in time, if people are already mad enough to give you these reviews, it won't make it. And so like I was saying, is other businesses go through this too. If we're such a small percentage of the population, you know, we're not owning all the small businesses. You know, small businesses go out of business all the time. And I'm guessing majority of those are ran by people who aren't like us. So those businesses fail too. People give them bad reviews too. And you know who's giving them bad reviews? Them and us. Probably not us as much, but they get bad reviews. You know, instead of taking the critiques and being like, hey, maybe we should have Jeffrey, you know, check the labels and the dates on some of that food that's in the cooler. No, we just need to be upset at the guests because they're lying. We do things perfect all the time here, when that's not the case anywhere. You should learn how to take criticism, be able to decipher from the BS, and also be able to decipher what's real. Learn and realize what's valid. You know what's going on in your operation if you're paying attention halfway worth the damn. But if you got people walking around, you don't know their names in the back, you don't know their families, you don't know anything about the people who work for you, I guarantee you probably don't know a whole lot about what's going on in that workplace. And you would be shocked if you just sat there for a few minutes and looked around and noticed probably all the violations that was taking place. Dirty floors, when you got people sitting around texting, not doing much. You got people committing dangerous sanitation violations by literally mixing the wrong foods together, touching different items, going from seafood to chicken to eggs to steak to celery to lettuce to, you know, everything's contaminated type of stuff, but people ignore it even though they know what's going on. And then they wonder why people have criticisms. But they don't want to take that. They just take it as hate. That's slight. That's somebody being petty. That's a hater. We got to get some of this stuff up out of our lingo, because all it does is indoctrinate your brain to thinking everybody is like that. Everybody's out to get you, when you don't even look around and realize nobody even cares about you that much to be out to get you. That's the thing that kills me about all these ridiculous conspiracies about people out to get you. Who are you? What are you hiding? Like, what do you have in your trunk? Is there something in your closet? Are you burying bodies in the backyard? Is there something we should talk about or we should discuss? Because why would anybody be out to get you? What makes you specifically so important that somebody's out here to destroy your business? Who's out here leaving these ghost reviews because you've done something so terrible to them in the past that they're like, man, I ain't never gonna stop. I ain't gonna give up until their business fails, their life fails, until they fail, until they crash out and they give up and they jump. Maybe you should think a little deeper, go a little further with those thoughts before you're just like, nah, the world's out to get me. Learn how to take criticism. That's something that's very valuable in any community, not just the blacks.
It just bothers me that you can't criticize like black problems without it being a problem. I just don't see how you get better at anything if you can't critique it. Yes, some of us have agendas. Some of us have, we want to please the white man type of complexes. For whatever reason, I don't know how you get to that point, but yeah, some black folks, they want to sell it on, I'm holding black people accountable, when it's like, look, no, I looked at the last 600 of your videos and I think you just don't like being black. I think you hate your brother, your sister, your mom, your daddy. I think you hate everybody who is as melanated as you are. I think you got an issue and you might need to go see a shrink about it, because I'm telling you, you don't make as much content as you do without criticizing anybody else at all and only your people, and you're just trying to hold yourself and your people accountable. I call cap, sir. Because there are those people who claim, oh, don't worry, I'm just calling out the injustices. I'm calling out the hypocrisies in the black community. Everybody just wants to go out there and be a victim and victimhood Olympics and all that yada yada. Yes, those of us definitely do exist. Majority of us, we don't want to get lumped in to hip-hop culture, YN culture, crash out culture. Most of us are just trying to live our everyday lives just like the rest of the people who are walking here on earth. Getting stuck in these echo chambers, getting stuck in these bubbles, these stupid, uneducated rabbit holes where we're talking about a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't even make logical sense if you think about it for like 3 seconds. We got people, we have so many black people that I've talked to, just black folks, that just simply don't even believe that space is there. What the hell's out there? What's out there? I guess we all are living the Truman Show. Apparently, there is a ceiling on Earth, guys. We're in a glass dome. But somehow, these rockets just keep taking off and going to nowhere. It's an illusion. CGI, AI, manipulated, not real stuff. Shenanigans. If you're a black person and you believe in any of that, you've been brainwashed by the white man. If you believe in science, you've been brainwashed by the white man. If you believe in math, you've been brainwashed by the white man. If you can read, you've been brainwashed by the white man. If you criticize blacks, you've been brainwashed by the white man and you hate your family. Oh, stuff is crazy. Everything supposedly leads into supposedly some form of indoctrination that you've been brainwashed by the white man. I know a lot of white people, got a ton of white friends. I hate to believe that I've been brainwashed. Guys, if y'all brainwashed me, I'm gone, and I can't see it. They got me. I guess all my friends, I'm not going to start listing them all, because hell, who knows? People might start trying to find their damn Instagrams, Facebooks, and send them all sorts of crazy messages, but probably won't be enough people to watch for it to get to that point. But just saying, it is frustrating to see these things always take place. You speak to a room full of black folks, but you're supposed to give a message that's inclusive. Who cares about that? Usually in black circles, when you start talking about other races, people are like, why are you talking about that? I don't care about that. Let's fix this. Us. Accountability. We don't have it. Not we. Most people don't have it. That's the fair way to say it, because everybody can be unaccountable. But when you're speaking to your people in particular, this is what happens. But this message really can go for anybody. I mean, truthfully, I think it can, if you just want to take it that way. But when people hear black, you know how people say black, but they say it like with the hard black. So like if they were they might as well just say the N-word. They said black in such a way. So like, those white supremacists be saying it all the time. Like, those black people over there, like that, homie, you might as well just say the N-word. I mean, if you're going to say it like that, you might as well just cross the line, because I felt it and you didn't say it. So you might as well just say it. Say it with your chest. I know I'm not the only one who thinks this way, that it's frustrating that you just can't have criticisms towards your own people because you want to actually improve. Because I think most of us are really sick and tired of hearing, the plight of our people. We know it by now. I used to carry around this same type of, plot armor that, oh my God, the world is against us blacks for way too long. And you know what it led me to being? A very irritable, very unhappy, and very disappointing human being. A person who did not accomplish their goals. A person who mostly thought that it just wasn't in the cards for them. That's what it'll lead you to think. It'll give you a hopeless avenue of believing that life just isn't for you. You know what? Guess what? It just wasn't it for us, guy. Life is only meant for the white man. Life is only meant for the rich. And we only make up 13% of the population here in America, so that means only about 0.5% of us is going to ever make it, so the rest of us might as well just give up. That is stupid. That is absolutely ridiculous. So we just shouldn't try. We should just, don't learn, don't get better, don't improve, don't get better relationships, don't take care of your kids. All this stuff is tied together whether people believe it or not. Accountability goes all across the board. It goes across the board when it comes to creating jobs, putting money back into the community, doing better in your home life, whether it's with dating or your relationships with your partners or your relationships with your kids or your friends, or just learning in general, becoming a smarter person, doing better things for the community, making everything or whatever around you better. I don't know. I just feel like when you can't call things out and everybody always assumes you have a narrative with it, which he probably does. Going back to the clip, Wallo probably does have a narrative around it. Don't care at this point. The message here was good and we should start listening to that message. Now, I'm a big proponent of not necessarily taking advice from people who don't live it, but in this case, just take that message and just use it. You shouldn't take all their messages because they're a hypocrite and they don't live by like that. They don't live like that. So thus they shouldn't be incentivized by you watching their videos and their clips and investing into side hustles all the time, because they're really just capping and they don't really live that lifestyle. I'm a big firm believer in you should support people who, to whatever degree you can figure out, live that lifestyle. If they're 304 and they're teaching you how to be a 304, support them, because they're at least being honest and true to their word. Sounds crazy, but I can at least rock with that message.